Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Caruso alert! In mine and Luke's Raw Review podcast yesterday, we birthed the idea of Commissioner Caruso, the meanest authority figure in WWE history. And it turns out the Twitter want it to happen too, with a random fan trying to book her in an arm wrestling match against SmackDown's Kayla Braxton at Survivor Series, for which Braxton has run in fear, tweeting, "Have you seen her arms? I forfeit." Another victory for Commissioner Caruso, the true captain of Raw. Maybe she's behind trying to get a fired WWE star their job back. Heel by Nature reported yesterday that WWE had filed to trademark the slogan, The Way, title of your wrestling pay-per-view, or network special, literally, as the filing seemingly classified its use in a broadcast capacity. But according to Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select, The Way could be for one Levy Valens, previously known as WWE's No Way Jose. Jose was released back in April as part of WWE's mass firings and furloughs at the start of the pandemic, along with big names like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Kurt Angle, Eric Rowan and Rusev, as the company shed a reported 40% of its workforce. While the majority have remained let go, WWE have brought back a handful of talent, like a number of furloughed producers and backstage staff like commentator Nigel McGuinness, and definitely not a general manager Pat Buck, and several wrestlers too, allegedly offering Heath Slater a new contract after his one-off segment with Drew McIntyre in July, which he turned down to go to Impact, and of course, WWE using the firings as a storyline which saw Drake Maverick legit get his job back in NXT. Fightful notes that talent both inside and outside the company told them WWE has interest in bringing back No Way Jose, as he was well liked in both the NXT and Raw locker rooms. Since his release, he's been taking independent bookings under his real name, including tagging with Doc Gallows for Lariat Pro Wrestling in the summer. Perhaps bolstered by their record-breaking financial projections, WWE is actually hiring people for a change, recently announcing they're seeking a talent brand manager for the company. This is for their new talent brand management department they launched back in July, which is meant to help stars with their individual brands, i.e. stop tweeting and then deleting how badly you're being booked by WWE. The job description includes align talent goals and personal interests to WWE strategic initiatives, and collaborate with talent third parties to solicit and assess new opportunities, which could potentially be enforcing WWE's new rule where they own their contracted talent's Twitch and Cameo accounts now, which has reportedly massively upset the roster. Sounds really rewarding. Now, before we get on with the rest of the news, I'd like to say a big thank you to this episode's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. But what is a VPN, you might ask? It's a virtual private network, which means your smartphone, laptop, tablet, whatever can trick the internet into thinking it's somewhere else. Where are you, Luke?
Well, my laptop thinks I'm in America, where I'm watching US Netflix, which is way better than the UK one, but I'm actually in West London.
And you, Pete?
Even though
I've run out of time for Pete. But for you, yes, you, I'll bet you've got loads of time right now. So get yourself Surfshark VPN using our special links below, because then you'll have access to an entire world of content by kicking geo-blocking in the butt. And for all our American viewers, you can use it to access BBC iPlayer to watch all our ridiculously short-lived comedy series. How have we only got 14 episodes of The Office? Make sure to use our promo code WrestleTalk too, because that gets you a massive 83% off and 3 months free, meaning 2 whole years will cost you under $60. Surfshark are really helping support us here at WrestleTalk during these hard times, so please click the link below to at least check them out. There are many historic wrestling records currently under threat. Ric Flair's 16 world titles could soon be surpassed by John Cena. Roman Reigns could eventually topple Kane's 42 career Royal Rumble eliminations. And Brock Lesnar will soon squash your favorite wrestler in the quickest time ever. But in an example of how WWE don't actually know how to book big guys, Braun Strowman is giving Big Show a run for his face heel turn money. Show has almost 40 babyface heel turns in his career, career. Strowman has managed 3 this year alone. He won the Blue Universal title against Goldberg as a face back at WrestleMania, then seemingly turned heel during his feud with The Fiend, where he flipped back and forth a few times during SmackDown, was drafted to Raw as a cheating monster, kicking Keith Lee in the dick, and now, just 2 weeks later, with no on-screen explanation, he's apparently a babyface again. PW Insider is reporting backstage officials consider Strowman a good guy now, and are booking him as such. This follows news earlier this month that they're also doing the same for The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Braun is in the men's Team Raw lineup for Survivor Series, where AJ Styles and Sheamus are being positioned as the goofy and fire-faced heels respectively. At least Strowman is being booked though. As Chelsea Green posted last month, "I haven't wrestled since May 27th. Very angry face emoji," which is now quote retweeted and then deleted. Update, "I still haven't wrestled since May 27th. Probably even angrier face emoji." According to PW Insider, WWE is also discussing bringing back their Tribute to the Troops special to TV next month. The show, originally devised by JBL as a morale-boosting event for the United States Armed Forces, has run every year since 2003. Last year's was the first in its history not to be televised. WWE have broadcast all their main roster shows from the Amway Center since SummerSlam, where they've built industry award-winning and a rarity for WWE, a homegrown actual ratings draw, the Thunderdome. But with the NBA starting a new season next month, WWE are being forced out by the venue on November 24th. Because WWE want to stay in one place to cut down on the setup costs for the Thunderdome staging, they're having to look at venues which won't be hosting NBA or NHL games. And according to Dave Meltzer, the frontrunner right now is the domed roof Tropicana Field baseball stadium in Florida. Maybe new house hunting was where Vince McMahon was last Friday night, as Ringside News have reported, to later be corroborated by PW Insider, that last week's SmackDown was the first main roster show he'd missed since the Thunderdome era began. According to the report, Bruce Pritchard was in charge of the show, while Ed Koskey and Ryan Callahan handled creative. The previous week, Pritchard also missed the taping, which led to Triple H helping out more backstage. But while he wasn't there in person, McMahon was sure there via gravelly voice, as he was reportedly on the phone all day, keeping tabs on production. The reason for his absence isn't known. Vince to AEW confirmed. Surely he'll be in at least one of their video games, because they didn't just announce one. They didn't just announce 2. AEW announced 3 new games at last night's Apple Parody stream. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Wonderwall, Brian Gallagher, and the Fresh Princeton, El Gainey. In an excellent spoof of every Apple product launch ever, the AEW Games 1.0 special event saw Kenny Omega in his best Steve Jobs black turtleneck and jeans combo to unveil the promotion's long-teased first video game, revealing the early test footage of an 8-bit match of him versus Jon Moxley, which everyone agreed was crap. I quite liked it. So he decided to recruit Hideyuki Ueshita, the legendary developer and director of one of the best-loved wrestling games of all time, No Mercy, to help create the AEW game. Created by Ukes, the developers who left their long-running WWE partnership with 2K last year because they were so frustrated with how bad 2K20 was, they then played early developmental footage of Omega vs Chris Jericho, which became Omega getting beaten up by Hikaru Shida, teasing this is where dream matches become reality. Dream scenarios. Like AEW actually pushing their women's champion. Thank you. And finishing with a tasty morsel of the Young Bucks Meltzer driver. Those graphics look terrible. But AEW weren't done there. In addition to the console game, Aubrey Edwards came out, also dressed as Steve Jobs, to announce the mobile game AEW Elite General Manager, where you can build a roster, book matches, and manage backstage morale. And Cody Rhodes appeared near the end of the stream, also dressed as Steve Jobs, to announce the AEW Casino Double or Nothing mobile game coming this winter, which appears to be a gambling app. But most revolutionary was Britt Baker, also dressed as Steve Jobs, unveiling AEW's reimagining of the t-shirt, with AEW games on the front with an industry-redefining 2 sleeves and head hole, which was immediately put on sale. Because, never forget, They are just a t-shirt company. There was a lot to take in, so Cody posted a tweet to sum it all up. A No Mercy style console game with ukes, a GM simulator game, a new t-shirt, a mobile casino game, with a photo of Aubrey, Omega, Cody and Baker, the bunch of Steve Jobbers. It's exciting stuff, but one evil Uno was left disappointed by the event, tweeting, "Oh, no AEW Wacky Races game, okay," with a gif of a very sad boy. The games, particularly the Ukes console one, are incredibly exciting, but this is also a massively important business development for AEW, diversifying away from their core product, t-shirts, and their secondary, much smaller outlet, professional wrestling shows on TV. And in the new normal title of your indie wrestling faction, an arm of your business which can take place entirely in your customer's home, is a vital move, especially with that other major part of professional wrestling, live events, being so decimated by the pandemic. And expanding into non-televised live events, aka house shows, was in AEW's plans for 2020. As first revealed by Jim Ross several months ago, Dave Meltzer has now revealed Tony Khan was planning to run about 20 house shows a year, every other week. These would be planned to not coincide with New Japan's big house show loops, as a lot of AEW's roster, like Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, still wrestle for them overseas. If you enjoyed this video, please super kick the subscribe button and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling videos, including our AEW stream podcast tomorrow, where I'll be unveiling the third man for Team All Authority at Survivor Jams. WWE's insane plans for Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah Mysterio might have been revealed. Click the video on the right to find out what they might have in store. And is chess, one of the oldest board games in the world, actually good? Click the video below that for Luke Owen's brand new video on our board game channel for Nomanerds and give us a subscribe over there. I've been Mr. Davis, telling you to download Surfshark using our links below. VPN, that VPN.